What we got next from Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban. So he's retweeting Chistery, who says, I like that the distribution of 5 opening stores throughout the borough seems to be inappropriate. Okay, so this is regards to Mamdani opening city-run grocery stores with lower prices. And so this person's saying, what's good about that? And Mark Cuban says, this will make some folks mad, but the best way for these grocery stores to work is if they use AI to get an edge over private grocery stores. AI is the one way for state government to outperform private enterprises.
State government already outperforms private enterprises in a lot of areas, especially efficiency. Hank Green actually did a video recently about, I don't remember the author's name, but he wrote, I think, The Big Short. And that same author wrote a book.
Now I'm just picturing Margot Robbie in the bathtub.
That author wrote a book recently about all of the invisible jobs in the government and just how good government employees actually are at their job, how efficient at their job they are, and how they're able to get so much more done with so little money being invested in them compared to what happens at a private firm.
Well,
how good that is.
Aside from that, just looking at it from AI is the one way for state government to outperform private enterprise. Okay, well, first off, one of the key aspects of having state-run grocery stores is that they don't have a profit motive. They are not trying to outperform private enterprises. They are trying to be an option for people who can't afford the more expensive groceries at the private enterprises. To that end, they will have lower prices because they're not concerned about profit motive, which, if you've taken a basic economics course, you know that lower price increases demand, which means that because they're not motivated by profit, more people will shop there because it is cheaper, and that will likely result in them outperforming private enterprises.
Man.
Even though they're not actually trying to outperform them, they're just providing an option for people who can't afford other options.
Speaking of that, I have a friend who's not into politics and has a lot of very libertarian leanings, and we had a conversation recently about what happened with Spirit Airlines. He knew that Spirit didn't exist, but he didn't know the mechanics behind why. He didn't know about the $500 million grant that they were trying to get from the Trump administration. They didn't know about Boeing dropping them as a subsidiary earlier while gutting them during their time being under Boeing. Didn't know any of the history behind it. And as we were talking, he said, well, with them gone, wouldn't prices just go down? Because now people have to fill in that void? No, the prices go down when a competitor forces them down. If there's no market incentive for the prices to go down, they only go up. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
I literally was sitting there trying desperately to process, how can you possibly think about it this way? How does the concept of the competitor that drove the prices down is no longer here translate to the prices should get even lower? How does that make any fucking sense?
Yeah, but also this also hits an issue that a lot of people have with the government, is that again, it's related to the fact that they're not trying to earn a profit. So you'll see people all the time complain about how oh, the U.S. Postal Service is so inefficient, they've never even turned a profit. It's
they're not supposed to.
That's because they're not supposed to. They're government funded so that people who can't afford UPS can still send packages to people.
Yeah, they're meant to exist here as a way for me to get my mail to you, not as a way to make money doing that.
It's taxpayer funded because it is a service that the taxpayers need. So
Yep.
The taxes pay for it so that you don't have to at the cash register. So it's not about turning a profit. I so many people think that the government is not supposed to turn a profit. The government is not a business. That's why you don't need a business person to run the government, because when you do that, you end up with what Trump is doing now. And he's gutting everything and being corrupt.
No, you specifically don't want a business person running it because they're going to do the Doge thing where they try to trim the fat. And well, actually, no, here, the easiest example. What is the number one hemorrhager of profit
in a business?
Yes.
Wages.
Okay, cool. So it is always incentivized to run as lean as possible with a skeleton crew in almost any business so that you can skim more money off the top. The government works the opposite way. You need more people working in the government for it to function at all. For every military veteran you have, you need to have like at least a fifth of a person able to handle their request at the VA. For every 1,000 citizens you have, you need a fucking person employed at the DMV so that they're able to function. Like there for every single part of industry, there is a ratio of how many government employees are needed to adequately serve the populace. That is not a ratio that has to be considered as much in business, because in business, all that matters is, did it technically get done? Whereas in the government, all of our money is going to it, so the quality that it gets done at is even more important.
This will probably mean nothing to you, but we've got Dan Wins is dunking on Mike Harris in the chat, and I am here for it. Fuck Mike Harris.
American law enforcement officer, businessman, and politician serving as a member in the Michigan House of Representatives since 2022.
Did you just Google Mike Harris?
Yes. When I don't know something, I try to figure it out.
Google it in Ontario.
Ontario?
When people were running against Mike Harris, they had signs up that said, "Stop harassment."
Okay, I see. Different Mike Harris.
Yeah.
Born in 1945. And you're still alive? Wild. Let's see here.
I mean, he hasn't run for ages now, but he did fuck up a lot of shit.
The 1995 referendum on the separation of Quebec. Ipperwash crisis. Oh, there's a whole section in here about the things he's fucked up after being in politics. Damn.
Yeah. He's not a good dude.
Mike Harris is a very white name.
I don't really remember Mike Harris. I was not of voting age when Mike Harris was a thing, but I remember how much people hated him. So I can't give you specifics. I'm pretty sure he fucked up our health system. Not as bad as Doug Ford is trying to do, but Doug Ford is just working on the foundation that Mike Harris gave him.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.